Radio. G'day! Welcome to Happy Flying episode number 42. This is the start of my working week. It's Monday morning, but let's go through some audio checks before we're going to be talking all things drones. I hope you're having a fantastic time. It feels so weird here. Usually when I sit here, it's like completely silent, and then I guess it's like going live on the radio. Like, yeah, now it's talking time. But let's go through. I just want to do a quick little audio check before we go through, and I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat as well. I can see a couple of new members as well as some other members in there as well. Thanks very much, Bruni. Johnny DRC, looks like you've signed up to become a member. Thank you very much. And we actually have a tiny bit of royalty here in the chat right now as well. So Sim Racer 101, if I'm remembering this correctly, that used to be Drone Racer 101, who had a fedora hat back in the day, probably about like 6 years ago or something, I think, when he was making some FPV content. Then he moved on to make some other stuff. But yeah, here we are. I want to say thanks for tuning in, everybody, no matter where you are in the world. Sit back, relax. I hope you have a fantastic time. Today's stream, we're going to be talking all things drones, all things FPV, answering some questions, talking about some new tech, and just generally having a good time. I can see everyone's saying the audio is working good. It's all sounding fantastic. So there we go. That's all hunky-dory. And I'm going to tell you what's coming up on the channel today. We're going to talk a little bit about mental health because I have a really positive message and a really positive experience that I want to share with you guys, like a bit of personal reflection on something that I noticed that I think might be very valuable to share with some other people. We're going to be talking about this. So some of you guys might have seen this, which is this little bad boy right here. So this came out yesterday. This is the RaceSpec V2, the hummingbird. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be having a bit of a squiz at the Caddx like zoom cameras, the analog cameras that have just released. So they're doing some crazy stuff over there. We have a couple of new chargers that I've got, including one of this one. I have to actually look for this. I did like this little feature, so you can sort of choose and not double up right there. So we're going to be talking about some chargers. We have a Flywoo drone, which I hope that's still in this box. It is. So we're going to be opening up a Flywoo drone to have a look at. We have this as well. So we're going to be having a bit of a more, besides those bits that just fell onto the floor, the Wi-Fi RunCam Wi-Fi Link 2. So we're going to be having a talk about that. We're going to be answering some of your questions and generally just having a good time. Now, Johnny DRC is saying, I want a set of Commander 2 goggles from Drone Racer 101. Oh, there you go. What a champion. Yes, that's always good when you can see sort of people still here in the hobby, in the community. And I do get such a buzz when you hear people saying like, hey, Stu, I haven't watched your videos for a while, or I've been out of the hobby, but I do remember back in like 2017 or 2019, whenever it is, when it comes full circle and you hear that those things have still kept people flying, or they've still been enjoying the hobby, or you've at least given them an extra way to get up in the air. So good on you, Drone Racer 101. I know your name is Sim Racer here, but I remember you as Drone Racer 101. I hope you're doing fantastic, and I hope things are going well for you. Whatever you are working on today, please let me know. And then also a bit of a shout out to everybody else here as well. I could see Chris Mel in the chat. Just whoever is here watching this stream, I want to say thank you for being here. And remember, you are valued, you are cared about, you are unique, you are special. That's not just hyperbole. I'm not just making that up. I truly am grateful for you being here, taking the time out of your day. And I hope that you get something out of this. And no matter whether it's the evening, the morning, wherever you are in the world, whatever you are doing, I hope that you can just have an enjoyable experience for the next hour as we all hang out, talk drones, and have a good time. Now, the first thing I want to talk about as well on my agenda, we always talk about mental health. Why? Because it is such a big deal to me. These tiny little flying blenders that we have right here, this has been basically my life for the past 10 years. It's what I've focused on. It has drastically improved my quality of life. Like, I've never had more fun and been more grateful for a tiny little piece of technology. But the part that I really love is the joy and the benefits that this experience brings. It's not just the adrenaline rush of cruising these things around. There is something really special about FPV. It does improve people's lives, and that's what I like to bring to other people as well. That's why I'm so passionate about FPV, because it is the best way that I know how to improve somebody's life, is to get them into FPV. Have a good time. So mental health is a big part and a big component of that as well. I've suffered from it in the past. drones really did help me through a lot of that. And if I can share that with some other people as well, that's like a bit of a mission of mine. And I want those people out there to not feel alone, not feel isolated, because I know what it's like. It can be really tough. And if that is you and you are suffering, please reach out, you can reach out to me, go and speak to a professional. It's not weak to speak. And I say this every single time. Don't feel like there's something wrong and you're not allowed to talk about it. And please don't feel any shame. If you're not feeling yourself in the brain and things aren't feeling right, please go and talk to the doctor. It's like if you broke your leg, would you go to the doctors? Yeah, probably. So if you feel like your mind is feeling a little bit broken or just not working quite right, please go and speak to somebody as well. Don't feel ashamed about it. And definitely don't feel alone. You're not the only person who's gone through this. And I just want you to feel like you are valued. We hear you, we see you, and I'm glad that you are here. Now, something that I want to reflect on just a little bit is because I've been in those not great places, and I had a really good positive outlook on not a great situation. And I think this is important to share because in the past, I had some real struggles with when you're making YouTube content, you are constantly looking at numbers, looking at views, looking at the like ratios, like looking at analytics, and those, and that's sort of where I would get like validation, like is my work good or is it bad? And like that, those external factors, that's not where for me that I was getting, I guess, like a lot of my identity from. Like FPV has been my life for I'm almost 40 years old, so I've been doing it for a decade. Like 25% of my life has been UAVFutures and surrounded by drones. And back in the day, when I sort of got caught up with it in the wrong way of thinking, like that was sort of what I was tying my identity to a little bit. And it took a long time, and I got into some like messy mental situations there because you're looking at numbers, you're looking at those. And what I would like to say is I'm very grateful because I had this experience yesterday after a lot of work and talking to people and like coming out the other side of having depression and getting on medication and all that sort of stuff, that I can actually look at something because I released a video yesterday, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. It was about this right here. And before that video that some of you might not have seen, that took me like over 100 hours of like editing and filming. It's one of the biggest videos that I have ever done. And I was talking to a friend, and I said, well, you never know, this video might flop. Like nobody might watch it. It might bomb. And my mate was like, yeah, well, that would really suck. I don't think that's going to happen. And my response to them was, well, it's okay. It's okay if this video doesn't do views. It's okay if this video doesn't do numbers, because for me, I learned something. I was like setting a challenge for myself. I was being creative. I was building and making that video for me and all the factors that I could control. And that's where I was getting the worth from that and looking at the stuff that I was creating. And I was truly able to push aside and be like, it doesn't matter now. I have done the best that I have done, and it doesn't matter now what those external factors do. Whether YouTube likes the video, whether other people like the video or hate the video, I've done the best job that I can possibly do. I put so much work into yesterday's video. And then it's the same sort of message that I would tell my daughter as well. Like, it's not about the results that you get. Did you do your best? Like, you don't have to come first in the long distance running race. Did you do your best? Did you try your hardest? And it was great for me to be able to reflect on that and say, I truly tried my hardest on yesterday's video. I'm extremely proud of it. And when I woke up this morning and I looked at the numbers and the analytics, it bombed. Like, it went terribly, but I can say that with a smile that I could not have done anything better, and I could not be more proud of that video. Even if YouTube didn't like it and it didn't reach the amount of people that I would have liked it to, I'm truly proud of something that I have created. So anyway, if you would like to find and watch that video, it should be on my channel. And I'm not saying it for the views wise. I'm just saying, like, it's just a really fun video. What we did, we went through, and this is where we can talk about this little drone as well. This is the Hummingbird RaceSpec. This is probably a good one right here. We'll move into this. So the Hummingbird RaceSpec, let me get that on the screen. That's this video right here, this drone right here. And this is the RaceSpec V2, an extremely fast little drone. It's about $150. I don't even know if I mentioned that in my video right here. And let me just say straight off the bat, this is not for everybody. This is one of the fastest Whoop style drones we have ever seen. And check this out. I did like some true science with it. Let's see. Excuse, this might blow up in the audio. Okay. Let's have a look here. If I go right here, and let me just turn this down. We did some science with some cool maths as well. Like, it was a really big undertaking, but what we wanted to do here, because we tried to hit it with a speed gun and it wasn't working. So then we thought, well, let's fly past here and find out just how fast is it going to go. And check this out. Johnny DRC is saying it's a little expensive for a Whoop though. All right, and then we absolutely, like, I don't even know if that's coming up on the stream. It was really quick, but what we were able to do with a bit of cool maths is able to sort of count just how fast the drone was going. A really, really fun like video that I'm really, really proud of. And I just wanted to let other people know out there as well, because I know a lot of people can look at numbers, look at analytics and all that sort of stuff and say, hey, why didn't this video do well? But that's beyond your control. As long as you try your best, and I truly tried my best in that video that I released yesterday, and you can be proud of the work that you are doing. You can't ever lose. Like, it's a great way to look at things. And yeah, if you're making content for other people, just remember, it's not about the numbers. It's not about the likes. And sometimes you're going to put in masses of effort and the results are going to be beyond your control. You're not going to be able to determine what YouTube or the algorithms or who sees it or anything like that, anything of those sorts of external factors. Don't base your worth on that. Don't get tied up in that. Just focus on the things that you can do. And then, yeah, so I truly feel great about what I created yesterday. Now, actually speaking about some FPV and this drone itself, we have, someone said you needed to use a tape to make those lines straight, hard to measure with those mushy lines. It's straight enough for a backyard scientist like myself. I did have a lab coat on, so maybe that does make it more professional. But what I want to talk about, this tiny little drone right there, this is weighing in at 16.5 grams, and it is crazy. Like, every single weight reduction they've tried to do on here, have a look. Let's see if we can get a top-down shot of the board. Right here. So guess where you plug the USB into? So those sneaky viewers looking here having a bit of a squiz. The reason you cannot see a USB on there is because you actually need a tiny little USB adapter that has 4 little pins on it, like this thing right here, and it simply clicks, not even clicks, it just loosely sits in the drone. Where is it? And it is a bit of a pain actually to try to get it in there. I almost feel like I need glasses for the first time in my life. I can't get it in there right now. Okay, there's probably another innuendo right there. But these little holes right here, this is where your USB simply sits in, right there. So you click it in the top, and that's how you connect it up to Betaflight and that sort of stuff. So every single gram they have reduced in this drone, and it is extremely fast. I'm happy to say that the camera now is better as well than the V1 that we had, because this is the V2. But it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be for everybody. Do I even recommend this sort of fast Whoop for everybody? No, it really is too fast. So if you're looking to get a Whoop, maybe if you're going to Whoop races, sure. But if you just want something a little bit more tame, you're probably going to have some more enjoyable backyard or kitchen flights or office flights with not this. And Newbie Drone probably won't like me saying that, because, you know, they want as many people to buy their drones as possible. This is truly after those crazy racers out there. That is 100% who this is for. If you're not into that and you're not a hardcore Whoop racer, just choose another one. Like, choose something else that is a little bit more tame, because this thing is absolutely nuts. I was going to catch up on the chat, see what we got. I can see Donnie, he's in here as well, giving him a bit of a shout out. I checked out his stream. If anybody doesn't know, his stream was probably about 24 hours ago. Go check his stream out weekly. It's a lot of fun over there. We got Torrance saying, hey mate, sorry I was sorry about your site the other day. Thanks for staying positive and creating cool stuff. Oh, my pleasure, brother. Absolutely. Like if we're talking about DIY FPV, I make this just to share it with as many people as possible. If you don't know what we're talking about, here it is right here. DIY FPV. I'm going to be answering this question as well that we've got. But yeah, just a really, really cool site aimed to help as many people as possible to connect pilots. I know I have 4 little messages up here. Yes, I will respond to those in just a little bit. And I do like my notifications up here. I'm going to see what happens. I actually don't know in the code what happens if that hits 1,000. So I'm sort of a little bit interested. If you haven't signed up, go do it because it is a great place to find out exactly what you're looking for. So let's just say we want to buy a DJI 04. You're not too sure what to do with the prices. Let's buy a Pro unit. How much are they around the real world? Who's got it in stock? Look at this. Oh, here's all the sites. Here's the places with it out of stock, in stock. It just works. And yeah, go check that out. Where's all the advertisements on here, Stuart? There aren't any. Yeah, you're right. It's just made for you guys. It's not made to make money. It is made for you guys. It is like a labor of love to help as many people as possible get flying and just streamline their process to having an amazing time in FPV. And like you can connect with other pilots all around the world and see exactly where you are, where they are, where the different stores are. If you want to go visit some, like just, I don't know, really, really fun. It's sort of like the dream site that I've wanted to build for a long time. So we got a lot of people in Europe actually. So yeah, go check it out, DIYFPV.com, the best FPV site on the internet. Looks nice, saw your video. We got some other people saying, hey, Stu, and the thoughts on the China hobby line. We're going to answer Isaac's question right here, and then we're going to talk about the Caddx new release that just happened this week about their new cameras. So the thoughts on the China, is that the... What's CNHL? Like China hobby line? Is that... Let's see. Oh, I should have just searched for this in here. What do we got? Mini Star Lipos. So, hang on. These ones. Again, using DIY FPV. I don't know why I started to type Google and then I realized like, oh wait, I've built an entire website right here. What do I think about these? I mean, China Hobby Line, I've flown a couple of their black batteries. I think they might have a little bit of a higher C rating. They're okay. They're probably like the budget value pack, like the Walmart brand drones or Walmart brand of batteries. I have nothing against them. I think there's definitely higher quality batteries out there, but they do some really good sales a lot of the time. I've never really had too many issues with them. I've had a couple of like the cell sign stuff. I don't know in terms of like longevity, but again, I don't know how many Lipo cell actual factories that are making the cells there are in the world and where they source those from. So I would not be surprised if a lot of the cells in here are also some of the ones that are coming from the exact same factory as some of the more expensive Lipo manufacturers out there. So yeah, I would have no qualms to recommend people to fly these. I'd say get them, especially if you can get them in stock and get them cheaply shipped to where you are. Go for it. I think you won't be let down anyway. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Let's talk a little bit about this. So this is the Caddx new release lately. I want it to be a digital system. I'm very excited to see what Caddx is going to bring to the table. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't have any emails or anything. Please, someone contact me. At least someone else out there who's got some info. Let me know what's going on because a lot of people want to see what Caddx is going to be releasing. But they did release, we had a look last week at was it the Amaze, I believe? And it was a bit of a letdown for me because it was an analog camera, but now we actually have some videos of some people using it. So over here, this is on the Caddx YouTube channel, And check this out. So this is a standard FPV camera, like an analog camera. I've got it muted, and that's a pretty crazy zoom for an analog camera. I do really like it on a momentary switch, like, sorry, on a potentiometer there. So you can see as he twists it, it zooms in and out. That's some impressive zoom for such a little camera like this as well. Now, obviously, is this going to suit most of our FPV flying pilots out there? No. I don't know how many. I can obviously see some use cases for this if you need to do zooms. Now, whether that be, it's going to be observation. Now, whether that be peaceful or defense orientated, that's up to however the user is going to use it. But for an everyday FPV pilot, I don't really see too many uses for the person who just likes to go to the park, rip some packs around, and just sort of cruise. So I don't know. The one advantage, like I think there were some comments about how you can observe some wildlife and those sorts of things, where this drone, a drone that you can put this system into, is going to be able to be a lot smaller than, say, like a big filming platform or anything like that. So if you want to maybe get into a smaller space or do some observation from somewhere where you can't get a traditional drone, it does have some use cases. But for us who just want to go to cruise around and fly in the park, it's not really doing too much. I think too, they might have like a nighttime one as well that's doing some really, really low level stuff. I don't know. Yeah, so Spoonie's saying cool, but what for? I sort of agree. Like, it is cool, but we're not going to really be using it there. Thanks for the stream. 1:20 a.m. here in the UK. Okay. I don't know what, it's like 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. here in Australia. That's why I always say it's the best way to start my week. And I want to just take this little opportunity too to say, no matter where you are, thank you for being here. And also too, thanks for you legends who are part of the UAVFutures family. Whether you're a patron or whether you're a member, just thank you for being here. Big shout out too, like I know Maddie became a member this week as well. So I saw that and I want to say thank you. It really is appreciated. All right, Wicked Drums. I saw that zoom feature being used for night vision and thermal vision VTX, which is cool, but I feel like that's just spying. I'm just here to do some cool flips. Yeah, that's sort of like me as well. I just want to fly around in the park with my friends, crash my drones, and then hopefully get someone else to repair them. You know, that's living the dream. All right, moving on. I want to talk a little bit about some chargers, how to charge your Lipos safely, and these two things turned up a little like in the last week or two, and I've got two different chargers that we want. So I don't know what people's thoughts are about Toolkit RC, but this is their M6 DAC Pro version, which means it can go up to 300 watts. I've used a lot of these chargers in the past, like this brand of charger. I actually have two downstairs, and I don't recommend parallel charging anymore, which is why I like these multi-port chargers. And to be honest, I am rarely charging more than two batteries at a time. I'm usually in the studio when I'm planning to go flying. I have a lot to prep and a lot to prepare because we're going to be doing a lot of filming and those sorts of things as well. So two at a time, it suits me, you know, and I usually charge at like 1 or 1.5 C, and I get all my batteries lined up and I know how long it's going to take, and I'm fine to do that for a couple of hours. There are some batteries out there that can do like 4 at once. So like the Sky, what is it? The Sky RC, I think that's the brand. They're a bit of an older charger now. I used to run 2 of those. So I would charge 8 batteries at once and I could get everything done in an hour. But most people don't need to do that. Like if you've got 2 ports, that is enough, I believe. Johnny DRC is saying toolkits, they work good. And then we also have this one. Now this, I had to Google because I couldn't actually find the brand, right? So this turned up. It just says smart charger, like, and I think that's the model C6X2. So it feels cheaper. It doesn't feel as nice as that one. It looks basically like a. I'm not complaining, but I just don't like it as much as that other one that I'm going to be reviewing. One thing I did like, right? So on the back here, you can switch between whether you're going to be running it off direct power off the wall, excuse me, or whether you're going to be running it from like a Lipo input or something, or an external battery, or maybe if you're taking this out in the field and you want to charge from there. I did really like that. I can just notice straight off the bat though, like in terms of build quality, I don't know if this is going to come through. Do you see how like even this USB-C port, it just doesn't quite match up. So it's going to take a bit of extra pressure to make that fit. Like the whole build around this just doesn't feel great. How much is it? We should have a Google actually. Maybe if I was more prepared, I was prepared. I did find this. Let's jump over here. $120. What is that in USD? Now this will also have my tax on here, so that I think we get charged about. This is like this is the first time I've ever realized I shouldn't complain about tax, because we get charged 10% for shipping that over here. It's called a goods and services tax. Nothing like, I do not know what the tariffs are like if you ship this over to the US. So, okay, $75 for that. I don't hate that price, but the build quality is leaving me a little bit, like chargers is not something that you want to take, you probably should, and the more experience I have, and please let me know, what are your thoughts on a charger? How much should you spend on a charger? Would you get a cheap one? What do you actually use? What did you start with? What do you upgrade to? Have you ever bought a charger that is too much? Because for me, yeah, I will have to really put some packs through there, maybe open it up and have a look at how everything's put together. A cheap charger is not the way to go. Yeah. Chris B is saying Radio Master tried to charge me 160% tariff, cancelled the order. I would say to that response that until when we're talking about taxes and things like that, did they charge that before they shipped it to you? Because if that's what they did, that's great, because they give it. What I would hate is and I've seen this from some other companies, and hear me out here, we're going to go full circle. If companies ship you something and then they don't talk about the tariff fee, and then it gets there, and then your government contacts you and says, hey, you've got a tariff tax, you've got to pay to us. You might be like, oh man, I wish I had have known that earlier. Like now what do I do? So I think that them contacting you to say, hey, would you like to do this or cancel the order? If this is the case, before they ship it, I'm all for that. Now, I don't know in terms of pricing and all that sort of stuff. Charge after shipping. Like so they'd already sent it. Did they let you know there? Because it's let's see what the price difference is right here. Need to go to DOI FPV. What sort of what did you get? Let's have a look. I'm going to guess you got a Boxer. Ready Master Boxer Crush. And I'm going to change this to, oh, you guys can't see what I'm talking about. Let's change this to USD. All right, so it's about $190. And then if you're shipping to the US, yeah, that's 160% tariff is quite a lot. It looks like they've come down actually a lot in price. So it's good to see that these stores, like a lot of these American stores, have reduced the price based on the tariff fluctuations and things like that. Chris B is saying they were holding it, trying to get me to pay the 160. Like, who was? I'm not sure. But my advice is for companies and people buying, if you buy something, please use DIY FPV to see. It might look like it's cheaper to buy it out of the country and ship it in, but often a lot of the times as well, you never know what's going to happen once it actually gets to the border. If it's talking about the US, that's why you can come here and have a look. Like, it's probably shouldn't have been all up your order if you're buying a Boxer Crush more than 230. So it looks like that's just going up about 30% right now. Somebody can tell me what is the price difference between here. For $200 radio, It's like $60, maybe $50 more from this. It's $40 more expensive. So look, I think like Pyro Drone and like even Get FPV here, it's between $30 and $40. Different, $50 different. So that doesn't seem like too bad at all. Jumping over here. Chris Croft is saying, Radio Master, do not charge anyone for tariffs. Tariffs get charged on the import. You also get charged extra fee from the shipping company. Yeah, I don't know the logistics of it actually ordering from Radio Master, but yeah, Radio Master shouldn't be charging the tariff, but they should be letting you know that that's going to be the price. And I know a lot of places like DHL, in terms of if you're getting it shipped by them, they're automatically putting some extra surcharges and stuff like that on there as well. The shipper was charging separate from Radio Master. There we go. Yeah, okay. So it's not Radio Master doing the wrong thing there. It's the shipper. There we go. Yeah, it's probably, was it DHL? And Chris Croft was responding with, that's what happens when importing from China to the US. All right, we're going to move on a little bit before we get a little bit too political right here. My best advice is use DIY FPV. Shop around. If you are seeing some prices online that are in your local country and your country has a tax on importing stuff, you're probably not going to get it much cheaper thinking you can order it externally and get it shipped in than you can from just getting it from a local supplier. So have a look at those local suppliers, support your stores in your own country. That's my advice right there. And of course, using DIY FPV, you can compare. You can exactly compare which region you're in. Like if we have a look here at the catalog and let's see, we're going to look at radios, we can actually select our regions and stuff like that as well. So if you want to look at North America, it should refresh, and now it's going to show all the options that are available in your country. Like if you want to get this radio, it's going to be available in North America. Okie dokie. Karaoke. We're going to catch up. I'm agreeing with what some people are saying in the chat. Can I charge in the car, I guess is the most important thing for me, or do I need some sort of inverter? No, you absolutely can. So if you have like one of those little, let's talk about this one right here. What you need is some way to like a DC input, basically. A lot of cars out there, they're like an old cigarette lighter you could plug in. You need the other end to be obviously the correct connection. So in this case, we've got an XT60. If you're into drones, you know how to solder that onto the end or make a little adapter anyway. And you could now charge this or run this to charge your batteries from your car. So yes, you can use an external battery on this. Also, like most not super budget, most chargers will have that option. For example, this one as well, you've got the AC input, so that's directly from the wall. And then you've also got your DC input over here as well. They come like this one can take 7 to 23 volts, or what is it, 28 volts. So totally fine, whatever you're going to charge this with. And you will generally find that it is actually the more expensive chargers that have so you can plug it into the wall. A lot of the cheaper chargers actually only go off the DC or the car version that you have, that you actually need to get your own power supply for them. So yeah, I'm going to put them to the side. I'm just reading Chris Croft's. He's responding to Chris B with a bit of truth right there. Now, the next thing, let's talk about this. We have this turned up as well. And this is like a bit of I was excited, not excited. Now I'm re-excited. So we have, and I don't know why, tell me, why do companies wrap drones like this? This seems awfully wasteful in terms of just like making some plastic and then heating it up. What we have, so this is one of the Flywoo Explorers, like their long range one. I am a big believer in little drones like this going a long way, because I had Trappy over here about 6 months ago. So that's Trappy from TBS. He's like the long range master. He's done some really, really cool stuff. Him and Wayne were over here. I saw them do some flights, which were crazy, like flying out over the ocean, doing some really, really cool things. And when I was talking to him about the drones, it is basically trying to make things as light as possible. Like it is so efficient. You don't need big chunky motors or anything like that if you're going to do some long range cruising. having a very, very light craft is basically the number one thing you can do in terms of making your craft efficient for long flight times. You don't need crazy power. You don't need huge propellers or anything like that. And what we have here, we've got, if I go here, we have, this is it. So the Explorer long range. I can't wait to be cruising this thing around. Now, is this the price? Like, this is Australian dollars. I think that this is not a terrible price, considering this is the one with the 04. Like, if I get it without the 04, it's $270. So, yeah, I don't hate this. Now, when I got mine, I have to say I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted mine to come with another 04 camera in here. And we're going to have to see what we do about that. I can rip one out. I do have one that's in another build that I can put in here. It's always nice to have a spare though. But yeah, let's open this up. I don't know why. Can someone tell me a good reason why you need to wrap a drone like this when it already comes inside a box? I feel like it's just asking for some of that forbidden air we've just imported. Oh, I can smell the smog. Here's a true story, right? One time when I went over to mainland China, this is many moons ago. I think before I had started drones, I went over to mainland China and I thought it was a beautiful day outside because I'm looking out the window of the hotel that I'm staying in. It was a really blue, sunny day. I was like, wow, the sky's so blue today. I opened the window, the sky was yellow and there was blue tint on the window, like they'd put that on there. So it looked nice from inside, and outside it was yellow. So yeah, someone's saying delicious Chinese healthy air that I've just imported right there. Someone's saying that is waterproof. Okay. But yeah, here we go. So yeah, a Flywoo drone. It's actually been a little while since I've done a Flywoo, and to have something that's long range, what I like about this craft is you don't have any props in view. So it is called the Explorer. So you're going to be going exploring, looking at really cool things. Does it say how much it is in terms of, I've just noticed something in terms of weight. Hang on. Where's the weight? 170 grams. Oh, with the Pro version. Okay, yeah, so crazy light. It's got a GPS in there. Is this the actual version that I have though? Yes. Because underneath, I guess they don't have to reinvent the wheel, but underneath right here, even though it says 04 on the box, DJI 04 Pro Kit, yeah, that's what we've got. But underneath right here, it says Explorer DJI 03. Maybe they just use the same arms, like they don't need to redo that. But yeah, it's got some little TPU mounts. I'd probably take those off. It's not designed for crashing. You're not going to be flippy flopping this thing through the trees. I still think it'll perform really well, but I'm genuinely excited to have a little craft like this. So Johnny DRC is saying I still have my original Explorer. I added a Caddx Tarsier. Comes with an F7. That's a really, really good one. Let's have a look. Okay. Well, I mean, Flywoo has been making a lot of stuff for a long time. I've had some hit and misses. I didn't really like their Defender range. I didn't like that proprietary sort of thing they're going on. I like the antenna at the front. I think that's a pretty clever idea. Because when your drone is flying away from you, you are probably at risk if it's at the back. Like let's say your reception is up here. Let me change this because this is important. If you're going to be doing long range, there's a couple little features that make this good. So you're cruising out there. Let's pretend you've got your antenna at the back of the drone where the GPS is in this case. And then all of a sudden you decide, man, I'm right at the end of my range. I need to turn around and fly back. Well, now your antenna is hidden. It's on the other side of where you're getting your reception or where your radio is. Where in this case, you've actually got the antenna at the front, which is probably the worst for when you're heading away. Not that it's going to make too much difference because you're going to turn around before you lose it, but that way when you turn around, you've got no obstructions between the antenna and the actual radio. So it might not make a huge difference for most pilots, but if you are going long range, those are the sort of things that will make a difference. It'll either stop you getting a fail safe or giving you still some control. I like that. Flywoo have fun micro quads. Yeah, they generally make some pretty cool stuff. DJI, just for the video, not the RX, ELRS or something add-on. If you could just rephrase that there, FX node. I don't know what you mean. And then what I would like to talk about is we're going to talk about the RunCam Wi-Fi link in just a little bit, but I want to answer this beginner question right here. And two, if you've got any questions, like now to be a great time to put them down below. I don't have too much actually that I also need to cover because I've got all these things that I need to work on, but I spent so much time last week working on yesterday's video. So if you haven't watched that, make sure you watch it after this stream. If you appreciated it, let me know. But that's why we don't have too much to cover on today's stream because I've been so busy on that. Usually I put more prep into things that I want to talk about and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's been crazy busy editing that video down. That looks very well balanced. ELRS antenna on the front may get banged up though. Nah, that's what it's designed for. It's designed to put here that it's about range. Like it's an exploring long range quad. It's not made for crashing or flying through trees. You could move it if you wanted to, but I don't think you need to do that. What was I going to show you guys? Oh, this. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is this turned up as well. I'm pretty excited because I'm going to put this into a craft. Maybe I'll put it into my Flywoo actually, because this did come without a camera. So we got the bring your own VTX version, but we have this right here. This is the RunCam Wi-Fi link. So this is like open IPC. And I am so excited now that we're in a time where new things are coming to the market that are not just DJI, they're not just Caddx, and they're not just HD0. We need more options, and I believe there has never been a better time than ever than right now that we are getting some serious choices when it comes to what we want to see with our FPV drones and moving into digital, and I couldn't be happier. Like, I am all for that. I feel like those three companies would love to have a monopoly on the situation, like DJI kind of does. Caddx would love to control more. I know HD0, they would love more pilots to be flying them. I think that as many options as possible would be amazing. Let's have a look at, where is the Wi-Fi link? So we've got it right here. And I've got a bit of a dilemma. Maybe you guys can help me with this. So this is what we're going to be, this video is going to be coming out sometime in the next week or two, right? It just depends. I want to also cruise around with Stickman Steve, get his impressions on this. Someone's saying, yeah, wait, that thing has a fan on it. Yeah, it does. I don't need to show this anymore because you can see it on the screen. That's because these digital VTXs, they get extremely hot. So if you have this sitting in your drone, sitting in your aircraft, and there's not getting airflow over the top of it, it's probably going to like cook itself. And I know that's why a lot of the Caddx systems and DJI systems, they have like an overheat protection. They'll just shut down. They will stop transmitting if they recognize that it's getting too hot. So we've got this right here. I like how the antenna, the camera, this is DJI could learn a lot from here. Hey, look at this. What do you know? It's got a standard sized camera, unlike the DJI 04 Pro and the 04 Lite. Like, this is the shape that, please don't change from this, FPV companies. It's really, really frustrating if you're going to make us be switching over. It looks like you can take the fan off if you wanted to, right there. Got a little bit about installation, talking about the antennas. I do find it interesting that, where are my antennas? I hope they're in the box. Let's have a look. Okay. Yes, we have some antennas right here. A couple little extra connectors. But here's where I need your help, and please let me know what you're thinking. It's not about the installation part. It is this part, right? Where is the picture? Picture's worth 1,000 words. I swear I found this before. Okay, there's... Okay, well, I can't find the picture. Essentially, what I can do, I can either connect this to my goggles with a HDMI port, or I could decide to connect this using Wi-Fi to my computer. Now, I've never flown directly to my computer before. It might be a bit of a challenge, and I feel like that's something that I want to learn, but it is also not the use case that most of our hobby is going to do that. So what would you like to see? Either I can put this system into my Avatar X goggles and have the HDMI cable out and have the receiver, the RunCam receiver. Let's see if we can get a picture on the screen. RunCam. Wi-Fi link 2. I think it's on their website. Instead, I was looking at the actual manual. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show you. Like, I can do this, and I think I actually have this downstairs somewhere that I haven't reviewed just yet. So either I can just connect the drone, put this in the drone, connect it to my goggles, and I can see. Or do I go the other way and get this right here, connect it to a Wi-Fi adapter, and then connect that to my computer? We could try and have a look at the latency. Do I actually notice a difference? I don't know. What do you think is a better, more worthwhile endeavor to go after? I have never done this. I'm interested. This is an easier solution. This will save me time, but also you people will probably be interested in this sort of solution as well. Nobody's going to be taking their computer out to the field and flying around. Wicked drums, I mean, sure, it's more latency doing that, but you're doing long range. You don't really need analog HD 0 latency. Yeah, and that's another thing I want to mention as well. Like, I will not be doing this Explorer. Will probably be doing some exploring, but it won't be on this open IPC system. I will rebuild that for exploring, but for the purpose of this review, if I put it in here, I won't be doing long range. So latency probably will matter a little bit. I just want to know, is it good to like fly around and have fun with? Like, can I do a bit of backyard cruising and exploring through the trees locally, like in a normal everyday FPV experience? And I wonder how much more latency does it actually add if you're running it through your computer right there. You can just plug USB-C in it if you have a powerful enough brick. Oh, we're actually talking about power supplies there. All right, yeah. So let me know, which one do you think will be more? Which is a better use of the system? Put it in the top one or to put it in the bottom one? What do you want to see? Because they've both got pros and cons. Here I'm learning something. It's a new experience for me, but it takes a bit more work. Here is still a new experience, but we all know what this is like, and a lot of people will probably use it in this. This will be probably the majority of use case scenarios right here for our everyday FPV flying. Okay, I'm just going to catch up on the chat. Wicked Drum saying I removed the prop guard from my Flyland 75 and now it looks like a Fly B, and boy does it fly now. We've got FX Node. Is it possible to use a DJI video link as a radio control link, but most people use it as a dedicated? Yes. Okay. So sometimes people have used their DJI radio and they've used their air units that come with your drones like this. This has an O3 in there, and this can receive some data. So people can use the air unit as a receiver, that when they connect up their DJI radios and stuff as well. However, in our hobby, most of the time, people don't want to fly with the DJI radio because they don't like it as much. There are better radios out there. The DJI radio is definitely subpar in terms of being an FPV freestyle-y. It just doesn't feel nice. Even a cheap radio like the Radio Master Pocket, I prefer, and I would trust more as well with like the Edge ELRS. So yeah, Radio Master Pocket, or you could be looking at a Tango 2, and if you wanted to go Crossfire, for me, my recommendation would be to get another radio like one of those two. And also that means you're not locked into software updates and other sorts of things that you might be with DJI. But if it's all you've got, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I would just recommend to upgrade it in the future, or at least to switch over. For flying around locally, I would just do the HDMI version for this. Save yourself a headache. Yeah, okay, so that's from Wicked Drums. And then we're going to answer this question. If you have any questions as well, like if this is the time to ask right now. It's almost about to hit 11 o'clock. I do need to go set some of these things up. I didn't actually even get around to connecting this, so I still need to get that sorted as well. And the big hassle for that is the manual, which is still in Chinese when it comes to connecting it and actually getting it talking to the radio and setting it up with, what is it, mission control or whatever it's going to be. So that one might take a little while before we can check out some VTOLs as well, because there's like a package where you can just get that, flick a switch and it flies, but they send you everything built, the radio, the video systems all installed, all that sort of stuff. Then like the manual for that is good to go. But for the version where you've got to build your own and then connect it up and talk to I think it's a Pixel flight controller or something, that's going to take a bit more work. Is that a VTOL? Yes, it is. So it's pretty cool actually. Got some pretty hefty servos on here. I've never flown one of these. This will be a good thing for I don't know if that's actually bad to do that with the servos, but yeah, this I am excited for. I am just having a bit of a moment of self-reflection where I never thought I'd be a guy who's holding a VTOL in his lounge room talking to people all over the world. Because that's not my style of aircraft, right? Like these, like fun, I get this. This is like taking your skateboard down to the field and smashing into trees with mates. This VTOL is a whole different kettle of fish of like learning and almost like observing and mission planning. And I'm going to have to think of something really cool to do as well. That someone's saying, can't wait to see that video. If you have a good idea on what I can use that VTOL for, please let me know. So that's what I would also like, something fun to do with it, because it's one thing just to fly it above my house and be like, there it is. But I don't know, if I have a mission planned or something, it's a cool piece of tech, but it's going to take a little bit to get my head around it. And I also don't know how it's going to fly in terms of like flight characteristics with that flight controller. So anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's have a look. This is something that I want to talk about over on, where are we? DIY FPV. And I would also like to just take this time to say, for anybody who has just tuned in, I truly do appreciate you being here. I mean that, no matter what the time is. It could be late at night and you're about to retire for the evening. I just want to say that you are valued and you are cared about. You know, this random dude in Australia is saying that. Yes, right to you. But if I go over here, beginner questions, look at this question actually. Is the Cobra SD a good goggle? How can I read its SD card? So I think the Cobra has a SD, like take it out and put it in your computer. Is that what you mean? Am I missing something with that one? But the beginner question I want to really talk about is this right here. So this was posted 11 hours ago. And if you ever have a question as well you would like to learn about, you can throw it in beginner questions. You can put it in troubleshooting as well if you've tried a few different steps. But this gentleman's getting ready to rebuild, upgrade my drone. I'm looking for advice on where to solder my VTX power wire. So the positive wire for his VTX. This is the flight controller right here. I'm going to be putting a Walksnail 1S Lite VTX on it, but I'm not sure what pad I'm supposed to use. The VTX is rated for up to 3S as well as the board. I'd like to make this a 3S drone. It looks like the board has a BEC as well, so I can use the 5-volt and ground pads next to RX and TED board. Can he use that? These are the ones you're supposed to be using. So the 1S Walksnail board, I would be connecting that up right here. So actually this one right here. So you've got a little 5-volt and then this looks confusing. Oh, this must be the 5 volt. Well, it says 4.5, but it says 5 on there. Yeah, I would connect it up to here. And then the ground doesn't matter so much, but like if this is ground, you might as well connect it up right there. That's going to be fine. And then it doesn't matter what you power your drone with, it's going to power it from here. Now, you could also use, because it's right next to it, the RX and TX right here for your, I don't know what you call it, your communication between the flight controller and your VTX. And then you would also need to connect with RX-TX, the TX2 and RX2. That's where you'd be connecting your receiver up there. So whether you're using a Radio Master ELRS or whether you're going to be using a Tango 2 or something like that, so that's where you're going to be connecting those. Or you could be one of those crazy people who's still using S-Bus. Any of you guys actually fly around with S-Bus? So yeah, that's how you connect up your 1S flight controllers. No, it's not 1S. That's how you connect up your Walksnail 1S VTXs to a flight controller without exploding it, because if you don't want to overvolt something as well. Anyway, if you've got any questions, throw them down there. I'm just looking at the time. I would like to say thank you for being here. I use a Ugreen SD card, micro SD card reader, since my goggles just can't connect to view the videos. It's crazy how far we've come as well. Like, I used to have to take my laptop. When I first started, I must have looked like the biggest fool out trying to fly around these old quadcopters, because I would take my school laptop when I was a school teacher. I didn't have a laptop. I couldn't afford a laptop. So they gave us these really dodgy Lenovo's that it was meant to be like your work teacher. I would take that down to the field, and I had like an $8 or a $12 USB connection DVR recording thing, and I would record in the field. My work laptop was so old, the battery lasted about 20 minutes. You guys don't know how good you've got it that you can just put an SD card into your goggles and record. My first pair of goggles, yeah, no DVR recorded on them. They only got 8 channels. I actually was having a look at them the other day, and maybe that's a video that I want to do, like FPV 10 years later. And what is that actual experience? Like our goggles had like these eye cups that would it was like wearing an actual pair of swimming goggles. I feel like this is the thumbnail someone's going to take of my face right here. But yeah, obviously I was a lot younger and a lot more naive in terms of what made a good quality video for people to see, but it didn't stop me having fun. The hobby is still the same in terms of that excitement, that joy. We got Cos here saying, "G'day Stu, who would win in a fight between a silverback gorilla and a fully grown male lion?" Well, here's a better question. Would you prefer, I've got to make sure I say this correctly. Would you prefer to have an elephant chase you or to chase a lion? I think I've mucked that up. It's like in my daughter's riddle book, and it says, "I would prefer the elephant to chase the lion." Anyway, I totally did butcher that. Someone's calling me. Oh, that's Sean Williams. It's cool to see so many family members in here as well. When I say family, I mean you guys, like the UAVFutures family. Let me know, when did you start watching this? How long have you been watching my content? Because like that's all the content, all the topics that I wanted to hit today, like my actual FPV topics. We talked about the hummingbird, the Caddx cameras, chargers, like drones, Wi-Fi links, answering some questions. Now it's just like me rambling, like a way to connect with you guys, because it really is my favorite part of the working week. Just sitting here, I'm the same as you, and I really want to stress this. I am just an everyday, normal Aussie bloke, like sitting down here on the other side of the planet to a lot of you guys. I'd never done a lot with RC, and I'm not an RF engineer. I don't have any technical qualifications in any of this hobby stuff. This is all like self-learned, just having fun with it. I'm just an everyday bloke who likes to fly around in the field with his mates and think these things are pretty cool. Actually, these are really fun. And the only difference is that I share it, and I want you to feel like you can be there enjoying this as well. Because when I started this, I remember this really clearly. I looked online for FPV, and there wasn't too much. And in this crazy coincidence, my wife, but she wasn't my wife at the time, her cousin husband had a friend who I actually happened to, along the grapevine, he mentioned FPV to someone at work, and then he sent me an email. I was able to get some recommendations. He had a drone that was flying, so I asked him a bunch of stuff, and I was so excited to get flying. And I looked online and I saw there was a local hobby shop, and I kid you not, it was 50 meters from my house. I didn't even know it existed. It was like a toy shop, but behind, in the back half of that, they sold a whole bunch of hobby things. And I went to that shop, and I was like this young kid, so excited to do some FPV, and because there's nothing online, right? You couldn't find any information. And I spoke to the gentleman behind the counter, and he really burst my bubble for this hobby. And he said, no one does that. If you really want to fly around with some other people, you need to get one of these. And he basically was pointing me to this giant nitro petrol powered plane that was incredibly expensive. And I remember leaving and thinking, that's not really what I'm interested in. And he told me there's no community for FPV. You basically would be the only one. And I went back, and I still wanted to do this hobby. It was special, like the little bit of flying that I had. And I thought, well, I will just make a place for the community to come to, and I will try to share my knowledge and my experience, and just being a normal person, discovering these awesome little flying blenders. And here we are 10 years later. It is a massive hobby, and it's changed my life, and hopefully you've gotten something out of it as well. So someone's saying I've watched from 1901. Yeah, that's pretty old there. Crazy Rooster saying I bought the Wizard X220S as a result of watching one of your videos. So about that long. That is ancient. I used to get a lot of flack about the Wizard, but what people don't understand is when it came out, I think it had BOHeli S ESCs, like it had a 64 channel VTX. That was crazy value at the time because we did not have budget alternatives. People do not know how expensive this hobby was in the day. Like a frame alone sometimes would cost, and there were frames out there that were like close to $200 just for the carbon, like just for the actual frame. There was some very, very expensive things. Seasiders, yesterday's vid with the shield and the speed gun gave me good memories of your old vids. Thank you. I'm very, very proud of that. I spoke a little bit about at the start of here, and I'm proud of the effort and the content that I released yesterday. Even though YouTube didn't appreciate it, it was something that was special to me in terms of like being creative and pushing myself in terms of editing. And I hope that this came through in yesterday's video, that I created something that people will laugh at, that it will make their day better, even if it's just a little bit, because that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to improve people's lives. And if they can watch that video and have a chuckle to themselves and smile a little bit, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, no matter what they believe in, I hope they get something out of it. So it was very rewarding to be able to create a video like that. And it wasn't about the numbers, and I would love it if it did more. But yeah, if you watched yesterday's video and you enjoyed it, that would be something that I would actually ask you is just leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. Like then I will get that feedback of like, wow, these people, like Mission Success, they also like that. But yeah, and it was nice for me to just have something to challenge myself that wasn't an everyday review video. I can do an everyday review video quite easily. I'm good at it. I've done it for a long time. I have a streamlined process. I know exactly how that video will go. But yesterday was something different. It was something special. And yeah, and look too, I also want to say we got a little bit technical and we got a little bit cool math sciencey, but it's not it was just fun. Like I know there's some people like doing like measurements of degrees and angles and extrapolating some data, and I don't know, I'm just like a dude who got a piece of scrap timber out of his backyard and painted it with some friends and flew a drone into a watermelon with some jokes in there. So yeah, go check it out. Someone's saying even the thumbnail made my day. Delayed. Started watching in 2020 when those $99 builds came out. Man, that was before 2020, my friend. Those $99 builds, that was probably like 2017, a long time ago. You're just realizing now, he's saying, wait, actually, I don't know when those videos came out, but I started watching those. Yeah, you've been in the FPV scene longer than you think. That's coming up like maybe like 8 years, 7 years. Cool. All right. That is the end of my rambling. I want to say, most importantly, this is something that I like to end the streams on. And before you click away, this is critical. And I want to say it to you, that person who's like me. Yeah. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. These Mondays mean a lot to me, and I hope that you got something out of it, because I would like to let you know, above all FPV things related and pushed aside, I would like to let you know that you are valued. I really do care about you. Thank you for being here. You are special. You are unique, and that's not hyperbole. And I'm not talking to anybody else but you right now to say, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you. So thank you. Other than that, guys, that's it. I hope you have a fantastic week. I am going to say, if you would like to become a member, like Johnny DRC is right there. We got some other members in the chat as well. Thanks, Spruny. That member button is right down there, down below. It's a great way to help the channel. I think it's like $2.99. There's some bonus videos there per month. And it just helps me make this content, to share this message, to do FPV and get as many people flying as we can. And we're doing some really cool stuff as well. Like if you look at what we're doing with DIY FPV, and it's just like my mission to help change people's lives through these amazing drones. And today might be the day when you say, you know what, Stu, I'm here week in, week out. I like what you do, and you can spare that. It will make more of a difference than you will know. So thank you. All right. I appreciate you guys. You're all amazing, and I will see you. Well, I'll see you in the next video. So like, go watch that other one, but I'll be here live next week. We're up to episode number 43. That's crazy. That's like, I started this as a 10-week challenge, and here we are at number 43. This is like my weekly schedule. Also today, here's a bit of a part about my personal life. My daughter's getting a little award at school today for which I'm pretty excited for, and the award is actually for like someone being extra kind, and it's not even an academic award. It's just for being basically a nice person, and I'm gonna be so proud there. She doesn't know she's getting that award at the assembly today, so I'm gonna be heading up to the school early, and I get to have like a bit of a proud dad moment. So yeah. All right, guys, you guys are amazing. Take care, and I will see you on the screen, and definitely see you here next week. And thank you if you are one of those people who becomes a member today. All right, I got to stop rambling. Bye.